those examples sound so real and conversational. And listeners, now it's your turn. Pick one memory and speak about it for 30 seconds out loud.
Don't translate from your language word by word. Just focus on simple English and clear feelings.
Exactly. Simple English can still sound beautiful and emotional.
All right, before we continue, write in the comments, what memory would you love to relive one more time?
Perfect. Now let's talk about some common mistakes English learners make when discussing memories.
Okay, let's be honest. We've all made funny English mistakes before, especially when talking about the past.
Oh, yes. I remember once I said, I am very enjoy yesterday, and my friend looked so confused.
Now let's try an interactive activity. I'll say a situation, and Sarah will answer naturally.
Let's do it.
Your first school trip.
I still remember my first school trip because it was the first time I traveled without my parents. I was nervous at first, but later I had so much fun with my classmates.
Family wedding.
One of my favorite memories is dancing with my family at my cousin's wedding. Everyone looked happy and the atmosphere felt full of love.
First job interview.
I'll never forget my first interview because my hands were shaking the entire time. But after it ended, I felt proud of myself for trying.
Here's a practical tip. If you forget a word, don't stop talking completely. Just explain it another way.
Yes. Maybe you forget festival, but you can say a big celebration in my town.
That's real communication skill.
Another useful expression is good times. People often say, those were good times.
Or, I miss those days. Very common and emotional. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Those were some of the best days of my life.
Great. Now, another one. I wish I could experience that again. Excellent practice, everyone.
What's your happiest childhood memory?
Honestly, my happiest memory was spending weekends at my grandparents' house. My cousins and I used to play outside all day and eat together at night.
That sounds wonderful. What do you miss the most about that time?
I miss how simple life felt back then. Nobody worried too much about phones or social media.
Wow, that answer sounds very natural and thoughtful.
And listeners, notice that memories often connect with feelings about life, not only events.
Another important thing is tone. When you talk about happy memories, your voice usually becomes softer and warmer.
Right. English is not only grammar. Your tone also changes meaning and emotion.
In real life, people often share memories during dinners, parties, reunions, or casual chats, so it's important to sound friendly and natural.
Yes, sometimes learners sound too direct or too short, but natural English conversations usually include reactions and follow-up questions.
For example, if someone says, I remember my first day at university, don't just say, okay. Ask questions like, how did you feel? Or what was it like?
Exactly. Conversations grow when both people show interest.
Here's a useful phrase. That sounds unforgettable. It's a very natural response.
Or, that must have been exciting. Or, that sounds amazing. Or, I can imagine how happy you felt.
Let's do another mini conversation.
Sure.
Also, try using time expressions, such as back then, or at that time, or when I was younger.
For example, back then, we didn't have smartphones, so we spent more time outside.
Ah, that sentence feels nostalgic already.
It does. Nostalgic is another useful word. It means feeling emotional about the past, in a happy or slightly sad way.
I think many people feel nostalgic when they hear old songs.
Definitely. Listeners, what song reminds you of an old memory? Tell us in the comments.
And remember, your English doesn't need to sound perfect. Real communication is more important than perfect grammar.
Exactly. If you can share feelings and connect with people, your English is already becoming stronger.
See? That answer sounds warm and natural because it includes actions and feelings.
And now I'll ask you, what memory makes you feel emotional?
Honestly, one emotional memory for me was my grandmother teaching me how to cook. At that time, I didn't realize how special those moments were. Now, whenever I cook that food, I think about her.
Wow, that's beautiful. Food memories are very strong for many people.
Listeners, here's your practice activity. Think about a family memory and describe it using these 3 steps: where, what happened, and how you felt.
And don't be afraid to speak slowly. Fluency grows with practice, not speed.
Another common phrase is, "we had so much fun." Native speakers use this expression all the time.
Like, we had so much fun during our road trip, or we had so much fun at the wedding.
Wow, those expressions sound very natural. Let me try one. I still think about my school graduation sometimes because everyone in my family looked so proud.
That's a great example. And listeners, notice how memories often connect with emotions and people.
Here's another tip. First, explain where you were. Second, explain what happened. Third, explain how you felt.
Yes, that simple order makes your story easy to follow.
Let's do a quick dialogue example.
Okay, ask me about a memory.
What's one of your favorite travel memories?
One of my favorite memories was visiting the beach with my friends during college. We stayed up all night talking, listening to music, and watching the waves. I remember feeling completely relaxed and happy.
For example, last summer, I went to the countryside with my cousins. We stayed in a small house near a lake, and every evening we watched the sunset together.
That sounds peaceful already. And notice how the story paints a picture in your mind.
Right. Good storytelling in English is often about simple details. You don't need difficult vocabulary.
Another useful expression is, that was the first time I. For example, that was the first time I traveled alone.
Or, that was the first time I spoke English with a foreigner. Experiences like that become memorable because they're new.
Let's compare formal and informal styles too. Informally, you can say, it was amazing, or I had such a great time.
But in a more formal conversation, you might say, it was a memorable experience, or it was one of the highlights of my life.
Native speakers also use emotional phrases like, I still think about it sometimes, or that moment stayed with me for years.
Also, don't make your sentences too short. Add time, place, and feelings. Instead of saying, I remember school, say, I remember sitting with my best friend in school and laughing during lunch break.
Yes, that sounds much more natural and interesting. English conversations become better when you add small details.
And here's a question for everyone listening. What memory from your childhood makes you laugh today? Write your answer in the comments.
All right, quick summary time. Today we learned useful patterns like I remember, I'll never forget, used to, and it reminds me of. These simple structures can help you talk naturally about memories.
Now let's move into deeper conversations and learn how to describe memories in different situations and emotions.
Yes, in this next section, we'll show you how to make your memory stories more expressive and more personal.
All right, now that we know the basic structures, let's make our English sound more emotional and natural. When people share memories, they usually tell small stories, not just one sentence.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I had a good vacation, you can explain what happened step by step.
Another useful structure is, it reminds me of. For example, this song reminds me of my childhood. Or, that smell reminds me of my grandmother's kitchen.
Oh, wow. Smells and music are strongly connected to memories. Sometimes one small thing can suddenly take you back to the past.
So true. And when talking about repeated memories, you can use used to. For example, We used to visit my grandparents every weekend.
Or, I used to play outside until late at night with my neighbors. That structure helps describe past habits or repeated actions.
Now let's talk about negative forms too. Sometimes people confuse I don't remember and I didn't remember.
Good point. I don't remember means right now your memory is unclear. Like, I don't remember his name.
And I didn't remember talks about a moment in the past. For example, I didn't remember her birthday last year.
Listeners, can you try making one sentence with I remember and another with I don't remember? Say them out loud. Speaking practice is super important.
Wow, I'll never forget is such a strong and emotional expression. Native speakers use it all the time when something is very important to them.
Exactly. And listeners, here's a quick practice for you. Can you complete this sentence? I'll never forget the day when. Pause for a moment and say your answer out loud.
You know, one of my best memories was learning how to ride a bicycle. I remember falling many times, and I was honestly scared at first.
Really? That's so relatable. Almost everyone has that experience.
Yeah, but when I finally rode the bike without falling, I felt so free and excited. Even now, I can still remember the street, the weather, and my father cheering for me.
See, that's what makes memories interesting. Details make the story come alive. Instead of saying, it was nice, you can explain what happened and how you felt.
Exactly. You can describe emotions with words like excited, proud, nervous, emotional, peaceful, surprised, or thankful.
Let's practice a few examples together. I felt really proud when I won my school competition. I was nervous before my performance, but later I felt happy. I felt peaceful sitting by the beach with my friends.
Don't worry about perfect grammar. Just try. The more you practice sharing personal stories, the more confident your English will become.
And before we continue, don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to Simple English Talks, and share this podcast with a friend who's learning English too.
All right, let's jump into today's lesson and start talking about beautiful memories in natural English.
Yes! Let's begin with some simple and useful ways to describe memories in everyday conversations.
When people talk about memories in English, they usually use past tense because they're talking about something that already happened. A very common structure is I remember plus ing, or my favorite memory is.
Right. For example, you can say, I remember playing football with my cousins every summer. Or, my favorite memory is traveling with my family to the mountains.
Another easy pattern is one of the best moments in my life was. This structure sounds natural and emotional.
Let me give a few more examples. One of the best moments in my life was graduating from college. One of my happiest memories was my first birthday party with friends. I'll never forget the day I got my first job.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Simple English Talks. We're really happy you decided to spend some time with us today. I hope your day's going well and maybe you're relaxing with a cup of tea, walking outside, or practicing your English during a break.
Hi, everybody. It feels so good to be here again. Today's topic is actually very special because we're going to talk about memories. And honestly, I love this topic because everyone has memories that make them smile.
Oh, definitely. Sometimes I randomly remember something small from years ago, like eating ice cream with friends after school. And suddenly, my mood becomes better. Memories are powerful.
Exactly. And the good thing is that memories are also a great topic for English conversations. People love asking questions like, what's your best childhood memory? Or, do you remember your first trip?
Yes. So today, we'll help you learn how to talk naturally about your best memories in English. We'll show you useful sentence structures, common expressions, emotional vocabulary, and real conversation examples.
We'll also help you sound more relaxed and natural when sharing stories. A lot of English learners know vocabulary, but they don't know how to tell memories in a smooth way.
That's true. Sometimes learners say only short answers, like "It was good," or "I was happy." But today, we'll teach you how to add details and emotions to make your English more interesting.
And we want you to join the conversation too. While you listen, think about your own memories. What's one memory that always makes you smile? Write it in the comments using simple English.